Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're really jumping into the world of Sei, that's S-E-A. It's a crypto project making some, well, pretty serious waves lately.
Yeah, it really is. And we've gathered a whole stack of sources for you today, technical breakdowns, market forecasts, even a personal take from an investor who's deep in it.
Right. So our goal here is to, cut through the noise, give you a clear picture of what Sei actually is, how it's trying to carve out its space, and what all these sources are suggesting about where it might be headed.
Exactly. Think of it as your briefing, your shortcut to understanding a project that's aiming high, trying to redefine speed for trading and dApps.
It's a bold ambition for sure.
Right.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's unpack Sei. So first things first, what exactly is Sei? Why all the buzz?
Okay, so at its core, Sei is a layer 1 blockchain. Like Ethereum or Solana, but it's specialized. It was founded back in 2021 by Jeffrey Feng and Jindra Jog, launched officially in 2023.
Specialized how?
Its main goal, its whole reason for being really, is to optimize decentralized trading. It's built to tackle the speed and volume limitations that other platforms struggle with, especially for high-frequency stuff.
Okay, optimizing trading. That sounds like a big promise, especially when so many layer ones talk about speed. What makes Sei technically different? What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Our sources point to a few key things. It uses proof of stake, which is common, but it adds this unique twin turbo consensus mechanism.
Twin turbo. Okay, sounds fast.
It is. Basically, think of two parts working together. One part finalizes blocks super quickly, makes transactions irreversible almost instantly. The other part processes the transactions within those blocks even faster in parallel.
Okay, so it's doing two things at once, sort of.
Exactly. And that combination, that's what apparently gets the block finality down to around 300 milliseconds, which is incredibly fast.
Wow. And the transaction throughput, the TPS.
They claim a maximum of 12,500 transactions per second. So, that's higher than Solana's claimed 10,000 and way, way higher than Ethereum's current 15 TPS. It's a different league, supposedly.
Those are definitely striking numbers. 300 milliseconds is.
Yeah, that's quick. But we've heard big speed claims before. Is there something else, a specific technical edge that makes Sei really stand out?
Absolutely. And this is something multiple sources emphasize. Sei is aiming to be the fastest EVM layer 1. EVM, of course, being the Ethereum virtual machine.
Right, the engine behind Ethereum smart contracts.
Exactly. And that compatibility is huge. It means Ethereum developers can, theoretically, bring their existing dApps over or build new ones on Sei without massive code changes. They can tap into Sei speed for trading, gaming, AI.
So it's not just fast, it's Ethereum developer-friendly fast. That's a significant bridge, isn't it? Lowering the barrier to entry.
Precisely. That V2 upgrade in 2024 rolled out this parallelized EVM, ensuring that interoperability. But there's more tech under the hood, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like a native order matching engine built right into layer 1. That cuts down latency for DAXs, because trades happen right there. Very little delay. And they use something called market-based parallelization.
Market-based parallelization? What's that?
Basically, instead of one long queue for all transactions, it groups independent transactions and processes them in parallel, like multiple express lanes at the checkout, Helps avoid bottlenecks, especially when things get busy. Critical for high-frequency trading.
Okay, that makes sense. So the engine sounds powerful, well-designed, but an engine needs fuel, it needs drivers. Let's talk adoption. Who's actually using Sei? What does the ecosystem look like?
Right, the practical side. And the data we're seeing is, pretty compelling. Growth seems robust. For instance, one source mentioned a 500% rise in weekly active addresses over the last 6 months.
500%, wow.
Yeah, and active addresses crossed 5 million for 2 weeks straight recently. Another source pointed to 700,000 to 800,000 daily active users on average.
That's a lot for a chain that only launched in 2023. Puts it pretty high up there in terms of daily activity, doesn't it?
It does, just below some of the top 10 projects, apparently.
Yeah.
It shows real engagement, not just hype.
And what about the money flowing in? The total value locked, the TVL?
That's also showing strong growth. The TVL on Sei nearly tripled year to date, hitting over $600 million by mid-2025. Some reports put it closer to $680 million by July.
Okay.
And one source even estimated about $1.3 billion just in the DeFi part, not counting stake tokens. That kind of capital inflow suggests real demand for what the network offers.
That's significant value. But are developers actually building on it? Or is it mostly users interacting with a few core apps? Developer activity is so key for the long run.
That's a crucial point. And yes, it looks like developers are coming. Sei apparently ranked third for overall developer growth across all chains in late 2024.
third. That's impressive.
Yeah. And the Sei Foundation seems to be actively encouraging it. They've got ecosystem growth funds, like $250,000 in grants for developers, creator programs. They're trying to nurture that building activity.
Well, it's not just theoretical speed, it's actually being used. You mentioned DXs and lending earlier. Any specific examples or other types of apps gaining traction?
Yeah. Prominent DXs like Yay Finance, lending protocols like Sailor.finance, those seem to be anchors. But gaming's also seeing a surge.
Gaming too.
Yep. Games like World of Dipians, Europe Fantasy League, they've apparently recorded over 50,000 daily transactions this year. So it's diversifying beyond just pure finance, which is probably healthy for the ecosystem.
Interesting. And what about the bigger players? You touched on institutional interest earlier. Can we unpack that a bit more?
Right. The institutional validation, that's definitely a confidence booster. The big one is Wyoming selecting Sei for its stablecoin pilot.
The Frontier Stable Token, FRNT.
That's the one. Using Layer 0 for interoperability. A state government picking Sei for a project like that is, well, significant.
Definitely. Any others?
Yeah. CoinShares launched the first SEI ETP in Europe on the Swiss ISICX exchange. Zero management fees, offering a staking yield too.
An exchange-traded product. Okay. That opens doors.
It does. And then you have Canary Capital and 21 shares filing S1s with the U.S. SEC for a SEI ETF.
Ah, the US ETF filings. That's the big one everyone watches.
Exactly. It's seen as a major bridge for institutional capital, but, SEC approval for crypto ETFs is always a hurdle, a big unknown still.
Understood. So lots of positive signs on adoption and institutional interest. Let's pivot to the market now. The SEI token itself, what's its role and how has it performed?
Okay, the SEI token, it's pretty central. It pays for transaction fees. It's used for governance, so holders get a say. It's staked to secure the network with rewards, of course, and it's native collateral within the ecosystem's apps.
So multiple uses and performance.
Well, since launching in August 2023, it's had an incredible run, something like 3,600% gain.
Wow, 3,657% you said earlier. That's huge. But crypto's rarely a straight line up. What's the current market sentiment? Still bullish or...
Yeah, here's where it gets more mixed, more nuanced. The long-term optimism seems there based on the growth we talked about. But short-term, it's a bit choppy.
How so?
Well, as of early September 2025, one source had it up slightly for the day, but down the day before. Momentum indicators, things like the MPD and RSI.
Technical analysis stuff.
Right. They were suggesting rising bearish pressure, maybe some mild bearish momentum building. And open interest in derivatives has decreased.
Meaning traders are maybe stepping back a bit, waiting.
That seems to be the interpretation, a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah.
Take or sell volume was higher than buy volume. So
yeah.
Bit of a crossroads, as one source put it.
Okay, a crossroads. That makes sense in a volatile market. What's on the horizon then? What key roadmap items could potentially shift the sentiment, maybe reignite that bullishness?
Sei's roadmap is definitely ambitious. They've got these two big upgrades planned for Q4 2025. The Giga upgrade and Autobahn consensus optimization.
Giga and Autobahn. Catchy names. What do they do?
The goal is, get this, 200,000 plus TPS and finality, still under 400 milliseconds. Even with more complex operations, they're kind of redefining what counts as a transaction, focusing more on computation, not just simple transfers, trying to reach like Web 2 performance levels.
200,000 TPS. That's a massive number.
It is a huge leap if they pull it off. Also, the community moved to deprecate the older Cosmos architecture support.
Meaning they're going all in on EVM.
Seems like it. Focusing resources, solidifying that direction. Plus, there's a big push for more stablecoin integration circles USDC on Ondo's USDY to bring in more liquidity and yield options.
So serious fundamental development planned. What about the tokenomics? You mentioned staking earlier. Our sources highlighted a healthy structure.
Yeah, this was a really interesting point from one of the investor takes. Apparently around half the circulating supply, maybe 5.5 to 5.7 billion SCI is staked, locked up.
Half. That's a lot. Signals commitment.
Exactly. Reduces immediate sell pressure. And this analysis also suggested that compared to some other layer ones early on, a relatively low percentage of SCI is held by insiders or early investors who might dump quickly.
So potentially less overhang from early holders.
That's the idea. It might indicate less potential for sudden sell-offs compared to some other projects. Could point towards more resilience.
That's a fascinating angle, the token distribution structure. Often overlooked. Okay, prediction time always taken with a big grain of salt, of course. What are the forecasts saying for SEI, say, for 2025 and beyond?
Right, grain of salt firmly in hand. The predictions vary, as always. Some analysis points to that short-term bearishness continuing into maybe October 2025, with prices around 21 to 22 cents.
Okay, aligning with the current sentiment.
Yeah, but then potentially recovering towards the end of the year, maybe averaging 31 cents or 31 cents and 32 cents. Longer term, some see averages around 69 cents for 2027. And then you get the really, really long-term, almost wild projections, like an average of $264 by 2050.
Whoa, okay. 2050 is a long way off in crypto. What about more medium-term highs for 2025?
Another prediction model suggested a potential 2025 all-time high, somewhere between $1.94 and $6.78. So that would be anywhere from a 5x to maybe a 19x from current levels.
Big range.
Huge range. And heavily dependent on the overall market, say hitting its roadmap targets and how it competes against others. It's all interconnected.
Absolutely. Always important to remember, these are just models based on current info. The reality can be very different. Do your own research, always.
Wow, okay. That was a really comprehensive dive into Sei. We've seen a project laser-focused on speed, achieving some impressive adoption, getting developer attention, and even serious institutional nods.
Yeah, definitely a compelling story. But, like anything in crypto, it's facing that short-term market chop, the pressure of delivering on a super ambitious roadmap, and those ongoing regulatory question marks, especially around things like US ETFs. It's not a simple path. So, wrapping this up for you, our listeners, Sei presents a strong case, doesn't it? A high-speed, EVM-friendly Layer 1 aiming right at the heart of decentralized trading and next-gen dApps. But its future really hinges on navigating these market currents, staying ahead technologically, and continuing to build out that ecosystem.
Right. It really brings up that fundamental question for any blockchain project today, doesn't it? In such a crowded space, what makes a project not just fast, but truly valuable? What gives it staying power?
Exactly. Is speed enough? Or is it the combination of speed, usability, community, and maybe that institutional buy-in? Will Sei's specific focus on both performance and building that EVM bridge be the winning formula?
Makes you wonder, eh? Will it sustain this momentum? Or will new challenges, maybe new tech breakthroughs from competitors, test its foundations? Only time will tell.
Something to definitely keep thinking about as you follow the crypto space. Thanks so much for tuning in for this deep dive with us.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
We'll catch you on the next one.